our first guest in the house. He's an aviation researcher and publisher, an aviation expert, if you will. He's GODDY Ike. Sir, you're welcome to our studios.
Thank you, Patience.
Yes.
Morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful.
Of course, everybody is itching to travel. The aviation sector is opening up. What is the new normal in that sector?
Oh, well, a whole lot has changed.
Okay.
First of all, you need to get this straight and right that COVID-19 hit aviation sector so horribly.
Yeah, true.
That I doubt if there's any other sector that's been hit as hard as the aviation sector.
Yeah.
And then the positive part of it is the whole lot of things that should have been normal pre COVID-19
yes.
is what we're finding now as our
New normal.
so-called new normal. If you ask me, it should have been a way of life for us. But
even before that's what you're saying.
That's correct. But I mean, how can you explain that our beautiful airport here in Abuja, you couldn't walk into a decent bathroom, had your hand washed without touching anything, and then have doors swing open for you without having to touch
the doors and all.
That. So I mean, it should have been the normal thing. I mean, we have them all over the world. And I kept telling anybody that bothered to listen to me, it wasn't money. Money was not the issue. It was what was ringing in our heads.
The idea.
Now, yes. Now the new thing is ringing, and
it's not the new normal.
And then it's I call the new normal. Anyway, answering your question more directly, now you have to get to the airport. Initially, they said 3 hours, and then I think when they got a knack of it and had a good job done and set out all the protocols and the procedure, it was reduced to 1 hour 30 minutes. It should be in the airport.
What?
1 hour 30 minutes.
Oh, 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay.
Before your flight time.
Okay.
At the inception, the Minister of Aviation, the Honorable Minister himself, had a circular announced that it was going to be 3 hours. But after first and second flights, and I think they straightened things out and found out that it wasn't fair. Getting people to rush to the airport 3 hours.
3 hours before their flights.
Yeah, so that timing was reduced to 1 hour 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So that's a new normal.
Okay.
Of course, if you get into the airport, you're expected to wash your hands. You're expected to sanitize your hands, and then your hand luggage will have to be, some will use the language fumigated, but I like to say they have them all sanitized and disinfected as well. And then and of course, as you stand to take your turn in checking in, you have already marked in order to create a physical distance in between passengers, so you must be on the spot. At SMART, and no other place. That gives you the appropriate distance in that passengers are supposed to have in order not to pass on this ugly virus, to each other. What else is going on there? And of course, our luggages, when those suitcases that you want to check in, they also pass through some
disinfecting.
They have them all disinfected and thoroughly sanitized before they are loaded in the airplane. And then each time any airplane touches down, the plane gets thoroughly cleaned and sanitized before new passengers are boarded. That is new because you find out that the turnaround time for flights has increased to about 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes, as against about 30 minutes previously. So a whole lot is, really going on, and
Okay,
yeah.
I don't ask a question. In the airplane proper, the sitting arrangement, has it changed? Are passengers still sitting? Is there a space between passengers, or
No,
sitting
no,
the way we?
no, that hasn't changed, and as a matter of fact, it wasn't going to change. Just that people were speculating that it might happen. And I'll tell you why it won't happen. First of all, is that IATA, that is the International Air Transport Association, IATA, International Air Transport Association,
okay.
is a sister company to ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization. Okay. They are in the business of course, Nigeria is a member, and a whole lot of countries are members, of that organization. Their business is to ensure that the aviation business is done profitably and safely. So they have an eye on what's going on in the sector internationally,
okay.
And ensuring that the right things are done to ensure that airliners make money, and then service their planes and keep them airworthy and safe. You must understand that raking in income is directly proportional to safety. Reason is that airplanes, in my definition, are faithful machines, but they fall out of the skies because sometimes human operators can be unfaithful and dishonest.
I like the way you just put it. The airplanes are faithful,
Very
but the
faithful.
human beings can be unfaithful
and dishonest. And that's why they fall off the skies.
Okay.
And then what's more, I also say to anyone that bothers to listen, airplanes do not get old in their nature, the way they are built. They don't get old. What happens? I will explain it to you. What happens is that airplanes are as old as their missed checks, and as new as their checks done. And I want to explain that to you. If you have a 6-month brand new airplane that is due for an A check, the checks mean maintenance.
Maintenance, yes.
Very good. You have a 6-month-old airplane that's due for an air check, and it's not done. And then there's a 15-year-old that is due for a C check, and that C check is done sincerely and thoroughly. That 15-year-old is a safer and better plane than the 6-month-old that missed his air check.
Interesting. I love that. That's really interesting.
Yes.
But hold that thought. And I'm still not comfortable with the sitting arrangement. I'm still thinking.
Right.
Before we go there,
let's
go to.
that.
I agree. Hold that thought. Before we go there, let's go to Kebbi and see what the situation at the airports are.
All
let's
right.
watch it together and
Wonderful.
then we can talk.
Wonderful.
We can deal.